coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. As you can see, still on the road, trying to get it done, man. Trying to give y'all some of this content, man. And I'm dog tired. I ain't lying to you, I'm tired, man, but I'm up and I'm thugging it out for y'all. And it just made me think about this guy. I don't think I talked about him before here, or maybe I just mentioned him or something. But let me try to give y'all a little background on this dude. I was in the cell one time, man. I think I was on. I think I might have been on Sussex 2. Yeah, I was on Sussex 2. So you talk about early 2000s, man. And I remember they put this dude in the cell with me, man. And the crazy thing about it was a white guy, man, and they called him Mighty White. Mighty White, right? And I ain't got to call him just so much. He even answer to that one by that, but I forget what his real name was. He ended up telling me what his real name, and I was like, man, what they call you that for? And I guess he had been in the Virginia Beach jail, and he had been around a lot of black guys, and I guess that's what they started calling him, Mighty Whitey. So that was his name by the time he got to the penitentiary, right? But Mighty Whitey was cool, man. He was a cool dude, man, to a degree. But you know how you get them dudes to give you that arrogance, he give you that silent like arrogance, like he thought he was better than you or smarter than you. He was a tall, slim white dude, not no muscles or nothing like that. Could go for a nerd off a glance. You know what I'm saying? You think he a nerd type dude, which was, to be honest, which was pretty accurate because he was smart. He was very, very smart. That ain't that, and he was. That's what led to his arrogance because he knew he was smart, like book smart, like sharp. He was real sharp, right? And he was quiet though. He didn't do a whole lot of jibber jabber. You know what I'm saying? But he indulged in a lot of stuff that most white dudes don't indulge in when they come into prison, right? He played a little poker. You know what I'm saying? He played chess a lot. That was what me and him bonded because we was in the cell, and when we used to go on a lot, we played chess. Now I'm a big time chess player now, but I ain't gonna lie to you, Mighty Whitey used to be whooping me. He used to be whooping me in that chess, man. We used to be playing like, best 2 out of 3 or something. A couple of times he would win in the series, but he'd be just so quiet and he'd take so long to move. And I don't know if that was a part of his strategy or what, but he'd take so long to move. I'd be so irritated. Then when you get irritated in chess, you out of your game. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't thinking on the level that you want to be thinking on. I think that was part of his strategy. Now looking back on it, right? But then when he used to win, he just be so quiet and he had this little funny look, like he just like no, like man, you can't beat me. And that joke used to irritate the heck out of me. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? But for the most part, we just used to kick it in there, man. Talk about regular stuff and stuff like that. But you look at him, I know he the type of dude in the penitentiary when dudes look at him, they think like he really soft or they could whoop him. And physically, they probably could. But Mighty Whitey was dangerous, man, because like I say, he was one of them white dudes that I think he grew up around a lot of black people, and I think he had that that little one thing that you gotta have, like, well, I ain't gonna let nobody just do anything to me. So Mighty Whitey had that in him. I'm telling you, I knew it from the beginning just by the way he carried himself. And then, like I say, dudes knew him from the Virginia Beach jail or whatever. Okay. Now this was the background on him. They say he locked up. He had been locked up for a shootout, a body. He had supposed to got a body at a Pharrell concert. Yeah, Pharrell. And when they was the Neptunes, Pharrell and all of them. I think the dude name was Chad that started the Neptunes with Pharrell, Asian dude. Where they from Virginia Beach, and Mighty White went to school with them, and they was throwing parties and stuff like that when they was even when they was in high school. And I think Mighty Whitey went to one of the high school games, or I mean one of the high school parties or something, and got into an altercation with some dudes up there that jumped on him or whatever, him and his homeboys, and then they went back and got them, that fire. And came back and shot up and got the guys that, you know what I'm saying, I think one of them was the ones that supposed to have jumped on or whatever, but they all got locked up, you know what I'm saying, and it was a big case, it was all in the news, so I guess that's how a lot of dudes from the jail that was in there with them had started calling them Mighty Whitey, you know what I'm saying, but and I think he had something like 20 some years to do. So if you think back then, early 2000, he might be out now. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no telling. But he was my seller for a while. And then, like I say, he was cool. I didn't have no problems with him or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I used to get visits all the time. And he used to get visits as well. So I used to see his people in there and stuff like that. But then when we got moved, he got moved. He got moved to a whole nother building. And when he got moved to a whole nother building, he started running parlays. You know what I'm saying? So I remember hearing that on the yard, man. It was like, man, the white boy got the big parlay. Woo, woo, woo. So I was like, white boy with the parlay? You know what I'm saying? So it was Mighty White. They said, Mighty White got the parlay down there. He got the parlay jumping. So he came straight in the penitentiary, tall, skinny, no muscles, no nothing. But he had the intellect. See what I'm saying? You got to be able to use whatever you got to your advantage in the penitentiary, man. And he was smart, and he knew he was smart. He knew how to get money. He knew how to set things up. He knew how to, organize and strategize. And, but like I say, this is the penitentiary, and you in the penitentiary, dudes is going to be, it's predator or prey, man. So I remember hearing one time the dudes had robbed him with a parlay joint, and he was in the other building. And I was like, they robbed me. He said, man, yeah, they robbed the parlay dude because dudes on the yard was looking to get paid from their parlay tickets and they ain't get paid. And he was telling them to hold on. I got y'all. But dudes was like, nah, ain't no hold on, man. I paid you my money for my parlay, man. I hit. I want my, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing with them parlays. Dudes ain't trying to hurt nothing, whether you got robbed or nothing. You owe that money, and dudes paying their money up front to play a ticket. And then when they finally hit, they can't get paid. That could turn out tragic for anybody. You know what I'm saying? White, black, or indifferent. You run that parlay, you responsible for that money. You got to have backup, cover that money, this, that, and the third. Don't nobody care if you get robbed. Don't nobody care if, you know what I'm saying? Because who really going to believe you? Even though it was on the yard, it was on the yard. It was like he got robbed. Dudes went in there and took his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Jumped on him or whatever. So it was a big controversy. But I can remember being on the yard. And this was about a week after it happened. I guess he cleared the bill and took care of everybody who had hit and paid him or whatever. But I can remember being on the yard, walking around the yard, that they in a whole nother building. So when they come out the building, sometimes they may be going to eat or they going somewhere else. But we on the big yard. I remember seeing him walk out the building and everything, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, Mighty White?" He was like, "Oh, what's happening?" He had like a little, like a little black eye. You know what I'm saying? You tell his lip was just going down from being swollen or whatever. So it's about a week after the situation that happened. But a wise dude that's been in that penitentiary and know what's going on. First of all, I could see the signs. I had been in the cell with him, so I knew him. You know what I'm saying? I knew his character. I knew, like I say, he ain't one of them type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? White dudes, you just gonna do what you want to do to him. Like I say, he might not be physically capable of whooping you, but he gonna find a way. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, he gonna find a way. And this is where dudes be sleeping at on dudes in the penitentiary. See, like I said, a dude that been in the penitentiary long enough. No, he didn't check in. He got robbed. He got beat up. He had to pay out debts. He know who robbed him. They take the parlay money, but he don't check in. See, a person who been locked up should have known right then and there they should have been aware. They should have been scared. They should have been nervous. See what I'm saying? If you gonna pull a move like that and let alone you get away with it, you got to get rid of that person, man. I don't even know where dudes get that type of arrogance from. Where you think you could do something to somebody anywhere on the street or in the penitentiary and then just walk around them like you ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's right there to me. That's foolish pride or foolish arrogance, man. That you think you could do that to somebody. I done seen dudes in the penitentiary lose their life over that. You know what I'm saying? Lose their life over that, i.e. cowboy. You know what I'm saying? Not the cowboy, my cowboy, shout out to that cowboy, another cowboy, he lost his life like that. White dude, robbed the white dude, took his money, stayed in the park, gambled with the dude money right in his face. A couple of days later, the dude came up behind him and stabbed him in the top of the head. DOA, lost his life. Right there in the pod, on the stool, slumped over. Just like that. See what I'm saying? So I don't know where these young dudes come in the penitentiary and think that that's what they could do. And sure enough, a couple of days later, man, we heard the 1033 boo, 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 but you know, because you see all the police running to another building. At 1033, a building such. So dudes that got a window, they can look out there, looking out the window and seeing, you know, all the police running over there, trying to see what's going on. Usually when they move like that at 1033 or something like that, and everybody going, the police gonna go anyway, but you can tell when it's something real, you know what I'm saying, different. They got a little different code or something, like somebody got, they know. So dudes looking out the window, they can see out of the window and they see what's going to happen. If medical running over there, they see medical running over there. So once they see the nurses and stuff coming and they got the orange boat, you know, we call it the orange little boat. They taking the orange boat over there. Somebody got hurt bad because they got it, you know, they bringing the medical, they bringing the boat. You know what I'm saying? Nurses running over there, you know. So they said, man, yeah, man, they bringing somebody out, man. They bringing somebody out. And it was Mighty Whitey bringing them out in handcuffs. So the person that come out first is handcuffs because he going to jail. That's usually, you know what I'm saying, the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying? The person that come out next is going to be with medical, and they probably going to be the victim, and they going to be on that boat. And that's what happened. Dude came out on that boat. They said Mighty Whitey, you know what I'm saying? He probably was plotting. He probably was getting his plan together. He probably was getting his strategy together. Probably was getting that. He had to find somebody who would probably get it for him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a white dude. They ain't gonna get no white dude no knife like talking about dude. They ain't gonna sell no white dude no knife like talking about. If a dude do sell a white dude a knife, he probably gonna tell everybody, man, you know the white boy bought a knife. Who? What? And dudes will pull up on you like, man, what you getting a knife for? You know what I'm saying? So he's so sharp and smart, he probably figured out a way to make something himself. If I had to guess, Mighty Whitey figured out a way to make a joint himself, and that's what took him a week or two to bust his move. But like I said, if you a survivor in the penitentiary, you have to be able to watch signs and read signs, man, and know certain rules. You know, like I said, them jokers deep in the game, but got the rules missing. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't what it look like. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't as soft as what they may appear to be. You know, and once you start judging people like that, man, you on the decline anyway, man. It's just a matter of time. You gonna hit the lottery. You gonna pick somebody that you know what I'm saying? That's what happened with Mighty Whitey. Mighty Whitey ain't checking in, man. He got robbed for the parlay. He got beat up, bust all up in the face. You know what I'm saying? Had to go pay bills. He getting threatened by other people. He still don't check in. He tell everybody he gonna pay him who you know what I'm saying, won money, and he cleared them debts, pay everybody, and still don't go in jail. Man, you should have knew the man was coming to get you. And I heard it was a couple of them, and I heard he was supposed to try to get them all, but he couldn't get number one. But I heard he would get them all. So that too, combined with the fact that he done shot somebody on the street. It was a well-known case, big case, because you know Pharrell and all of them or whatever. And this before Pharrell them even blew up, but they was known in Virginia Beach in that area. They was known in the 757 in Tidewater area. You know what I'm saying? Anybody know this gonna be what they became like that. You know, Pharrell is like, you know what I'm saying, at the apex of this game. But ain't nobody know that. But Mighty Whitey was in prison for shooting somebody at a Pharrell party, for sure, for sure. So even though with all of that, man, you know what I'm saying, you gotta look at those things, man, instead of looking at color. If you look at color and think, cause this dude this color or this dude this small or something like that, and you try to judge that by how you gonna try to handle them, man, you gonna get late every time. You know, like I say, not every time, but it's gonna come a time for sure, for sure. If that's the agenda that you move on, you're gonna run into the right one. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna fix you up, they're gonna tighten you up real decent, man. And yeah, man. So Mighty Whitey knowing that he gotta do 20-something years too, he got to set the example. He got to let it be known. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure he went to other compounds after that and ran parlays, played poker, sat at the poker table. And dudes may have looked at him too and had that perception. Oh, who's this white dude? And he quiet. He don't talk a lot. Ain't no slick talker. So, but they probably, oh, that's the white boy right there. Stand dude up on such. yeah, wild and stuff. And yeah, he came back to dude up. That's what's gonna be. It's gonna be out there. So that probably kept him away from a lot of other tomfoolery. Doing this bit that he probably would have had to deal with just being him. You know what I'm saying? He probably would have had to deal with all of that multiple times over, and probably would have had to deal with some other stuff too. Somebody might have tried to get his manhood, but like I told you, I was in the cell with him. I could already read this. He won't go on. You would have had to kill him. He won't go on for none of that. When you been around dudes for a long time, man, you get the energy from them, and you can understand how they coming. And by then you talking about the early 2000s. I've been in the penitentiary a minute. I knew he wasn't no sucker. I knew he wasn't no fighter neither. I knew he wasn't no sucker. I could read that off of him, because I done seen dudes get smart with him because he playing chess out there and beating him. And he's so quiet and he be taking so long, and they get mad, man, move the pieces, man. Oh, big B, call him a B and all that, and he'll be just like this. I'm just studying the board. And that Jonah had you so, man. But he would never lose his cool. He'd just be like, all right, you want to not play no more? I mean, somebody else. And he'd be like that, man. And you'd be like, and then, and then he can play. Because he going to sit there, he going to think out everything. He going to think about every move, what could be a counter move, what could be this, that, and the third. And it do take a long time. And you know what I'm saying? Technically, there's no time limit in chess, but we in prison, man. We got a certain amount of time to be out here to count, man. Ain't nobody got time to sit there and wait for you to take 15 minutes to move. You know what I'm saying? But he'll do that. And he will tell you, though, and it will come out as arrogant or smart, but he going to say it in such a monotone voice. He'll be like, well, if I got to move fast, I'd rather not play it. So I just got to study my moves. So, just studying the move that I make. And you'll be like, you say something like, is there time limit in chess? Is there? He being arrogant, but he's saying it so low, so slow. You like, is this joker playing with me? But by me being in cell with him, that's how I perceived it. Like, I know he's a thinker, so he's cerebral. He know exactly what he know. He irritating you. He know he frustrating you, and he know that's gonna affect you move. Because now when it comes time for you to move, you'd have been complaining about him taking so long to move. So then you ain't gonna study the whole board. You be like, man, you gonna move, and that's when you gonna make a mistake. That's when you gonna capitalize on, and then he gonna do some. Let's check, baby. You be wanting to say, yeah, I know. I'm gonna just, but shout out to Whitey, man. But yeah, man, it just goes to show, man. Like I said, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a man by his skin. Because anything and anybody, man, in the penitentiary can do something to you at any time, man. We all locked up. We all same dog bit you, bit me. You did, and we all, in captivity, man. You don't take nobody for light. Don't take nobody for weak. And yeah, man. So shout out to Mighty Whitey, man. Hopefully he out, man. I think he might be out by now. This was probably 20-something years ago. So he probably is out, man. But if he is, I would lay flat and believe he getting some money. I can guarantee you that he's somewhere getting some money because he's smart enough to know how to figure it out. But anyway, man, we're on the road, man. Yeah, out here in Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to everybody who pulled up over in Baltimore and recognized me and showed me some love, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man, especially the dude I met last night, at the power plant, man. I appreciate you, my guy. I'm going to post that short sometime today, too, so y'all see what I was talking about. But let's go. Let's get it, man. TBP Nation, stand up, man. Salute. We out here, man. Hold me down while I'm gone. Hold me down. I'll be back.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm going to have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.